same stand I typically hunt in. While I was climbing up my tree, I had a buck come by, grunting about 75 yards behind me. He didn't stop or anything, or he didn't hear me or anything, so that was good. He just kept on moving. It's like 33 degrees, and the wind switched to the northwest right now, which is an okay wind for this stand. I prefer a southwest. It's the best, but it'll do. We're gonna be sitting all day, so hopefully we see some deer. I did pull the chip out of my trail camera, and there's a ton of deer activity, tons of does, tons of small bucks, like small 8s, 6s, 4 spikes, but there is one really nice shooter. He's just a perfect 8-pointer with nice mask right outside the ears, and he was actually here yesterday morning at 8:30. So with anything, hopefully he comes in back and check the scrape on the same routine. So I'm just gonna sit here and see what I see. I'll flip this back on once I see some deer. Well, that's a good way to start the morning. That deer came right in. I saw a deer walking off in the distance, and I grunted, and sure enough, he came right in. I actually have that deer on trail camera. That's just a little 8-pointer. I mean, I could have shot him really easy, but just not what I'm looking for. Not on the first day. The first full day sit, I can't pull the trigger on that one, but maybe later in the season, if it's down to the wire and I don't have a buck down, then maybe, but just a little too small for what I'm looking for. But great sign though. That was cool to see him work that scrape. So we're gonna sit tight and hopefully have some more deer come in. Me. 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 I didn't get the shot on this camera, but I have my Dactycam rolling. And I just got that buck. He is down. I mean, he's not a giant by any means, but I mean, I grunted him in and he came right in on a V and gave me a perfect shot. I couldn't pass it up. And believe it or not, that's that's probably my biggest buck with my bow. So eventually you gotta squeeze the trigger even if it's not a giant. But yeah, that's pretty much my bow season. Yeah. I mean, you think like, oh, should I wait for a nice big buck and whatever? But I mean, I'm hunting public land, and the chances of that are slim. But I mean, there's nice bucks out here. But I haven't shot a buck with my bow in a lot of years, and I finally got it done. Feels good. Well, I got a lot of work to do now because I got a doe down and a buck down, and that's the first time I've ever shot 2 deer in a day with my bow. But it just goes to show you, you get in the stand at the right times. It's gonna be very good. But yeah, I got a lot of work to do, so I'm gonna shut this off, and then actually I can show you that doe I can show you where that doe is. And I apologize too, when I first shot that doe, I didn't have my mic on my camera. I switched over to an external mic this year just because the internal sound of my camera was catching on video. So I went to an external mic, and the only external mic that works on this camera is a battery operated one, so you have to turn it on. And so I forgot to turn it on when I shot that doe, but yeah, so there won't be any audio, but the video will be there. But let's take a look right here. So that doe is down right. If I can get it to focus, that's her right there. But yeah, I'm super jacked. That was awesome. But yeah, I'm gonna shut her down, and honestly, I'm gonna have to go back to the car, and I brought a sled, so I should be able to get both deer in that sled and pull them out. It's gonna be tough, but well worth it. Alright, I am down from my stand, and gonna walk over and show you the doe, and then follow the blood trail to the buck, and then I'm gonna pack everything out and go get my sled and pull that back here, and then pull these deer out. So let's get to it. Alright, so here's my stand all packed up, my bow down. Let's take a walk. So right here, this is right where I shot that buck. You can see that arrow must have came all the way through. It just didn't pass through. Let's go up here. Look at where I shot my bow. And find my arrow. There's blood. Oh, there's my arrow. There's my arrow. Complete pass through. Here, I'm gonna take the glove off quick. Alright, so we're on blood now for that buck. And I see his tail. Where is it? Right there. There's his tail. Yeah, he did not make it very far. nice little 8. Nothing new by any means. Nice big body. And believe it or not, that's my biggest buck with the bow. Alright guys, well, here he is. Just a nice little 8-pointer. And that's going to conclude my season. It was a very fast season, that's for sure. This is only my second sit of the season. And, I mean, I could have waited for a nicer buck, but, I mean, he came in perfect, gave me a perfect shot, and so I just decided to take it. Couldn't be more proud. But got a lot of work ahead of me now, so I'm going to get all my stuff packed out and come back with the sled and try and get these guys out. So I will probably do another video here once I get them all out of the woods. So I'll be back in a little while. But yeah, super happy. Alright, there they are. That is 2020 bow season right there. Both nice deer. And overall, I did a fairly decent job filming. I made a couple mistakes. One, for some reason I bumped the record button when I was recovering my doe, so when I walked up to my doe it actually wasn't recording. And then when I shot my doe I accidentally didn't have my external mic on, so it's just no sound. But I have my Tacticam footage of that, so that all it will have sound. But overall it was a good hunt. Just got them back to the house and now gonna get them hung up and start butchering and packaged up and in the freezer. And then I'll actually be back home for Halloween for the kids. So overall it worked out really well. But yeah, a lot of work ahead of us yet, and so we're gonna get started. But I just wanted to show you guys the final product here. I'll show you one more time. Just a nice adult doe and just a nice young buck. Gonna fill up the freezer with those. So hopefully I'll have this video up soon. But until then, I will be back for rifle season, and then hopefully shoot a big buck with my rifle. I won't shoot anything small since I already have these in the freezer. So be big buck hunting once the rifle season opens. So until then. And one other thing I wanted to add too was I didn't even talk about shot placement, but for both the deer it was almost perfect. The doe, I actually heart shot her. It went right through the top of her heart, and she only went like 20 yards and tipped over. And then the buck was quartering away, and I hit him perfect, and it went through both lungs, and he went about 85 yards and tipped over. So that made me super happy. Nothing better than making a good shot and knowing that those deer expired within seconds. So yeah, I just wanted to touch base on the shot placement. But yeah, that made me super happy, especially a few years back. I wounded a couple deer and didn't find, so it's always good to make a good shot. So just wanted to emphasize that.